Most ACCA students fail F2 because they study formulas, not the mind behind the formulas. Imagine Sarah, a student from London, who memorized every single cost formula she could find. She spent nights writing fixed cost equals constant, variable cost equals per unit, repeating it over and over like a robot. When she attempted her first mock exam, her heart sank. She got 45% and panic set in. She felt defeated, thinking, maybe I'm just not cut out for ACCA. But then, she discovered a different approach through Education Bench. Instead of memorizing blindly, she learned to see the patterns, the reasoning, the logic behind costs. She practiced with real business scenarios, seeing how Starbucks manages its fixed and variable costs, how Tesla calculates per unit production costs as their output scales. Within weeks, Sarah's scores jumped to 76%, and she finally felt in control of F2. This isn't a magic trick, it's strategy. And in this video, I'm going to share exactly how you can do the same, the roadmap to passing F2 efficiently and confidently. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which study resources to bank on for the knowledge level ACCA exams. You'll get a complete F2 prep guide covering the syllabus from A to E, all mix in real business examples, mini case studies, rapid memory hacks, and micro reels you can mentally bookmark for quick revision. You'll learn how to approach every question type, spot examiner traps, and maximize marks without drowning in formulas. Let's start with something every student struggles with: cost behavior. Stop memorizing fixed and variable costs like robots. Think about a company like Starbucks. Their fixed costs, rent, salaries, machinery, stay the same regardless of how many cups of coffee they sell. But per unit, these costs decrease as sales volume increases. Variable costs, like coffee beans and milk, remain constant per cup, but total costs rise with volume. Visualize it: if Starbucks sells 1,000 cups, total variable costs are X. If they sell 10,000, total rises tenfold, but per cup, it's the same. Grasping this simple yet fundamental concept separates a pass from a fail. Many students memorize definitions, but real success comes when you can see it in action. Let's move to cost classification, the backbone of F2 syllabus section A. Imagine John, another student. He memorized direct equals product, indirect equals overhead, but failed to link it to practical scenarios. In his mock exam, the question disguised semi-variable costs as fixed. He panicked. To fix this, you need to identify direct versus indirect costs, product versus period costs, and fixed, variable, semi-variable in real-life cases. For example, a manufacturing plant producing 5,000 units may have machinery rent, fixed, wages per unit, variable, and a mixed maintenance contract, semi-variable. Using the high-low method, you can split the semi-variable costs efficiently. Competitors rarely teach how this links directly to exam question traps. Knowing this allows you to anticipate examiner tricks. Here's a quick reel-style strategy. If high-low takes you more than 20 seconds, you're doing it wrong. Take 2 activity levels, apply the high-low formula, extract the variable cost, and boom, done. For instance, if a bakery's output was 1,000 units costing £5,000 and 2,000 units costing £8,000, the variable cost per unit equals 8,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, equals £3 per unit. Fixed equals total cost, variable times units. Done. This rapid calculation becomes your go-to for quick mock revisions. Next, cost accounting techniques. Many students struggle with absorption versus marginal costing. Picture a bakery that priced cupcakes using absorption costing but miscalculated overheads. They lost £12,000. Understanding contribution versus absorption is critical. Remember this one sentence: contribution answers, should we? Absorption answers, did we? Contribution helps with decision-making, absorption with historical cost evaluation. A mini case study: a student, Maria, confused variable versus absorption, but after practicing with real-style bakery examples and visual CVP charts, she consistently scored above 70% on mock problems. Contribution margin equals selling price variable cost. Break-even analysis visually shows how each unit affects profit. Moving on to budgeting. Many YouTube educators skip the behavioral side of budgets, focusing solely on formulas. But real-world budgeting includes types of budgets, flexed, rolling, zero-based, and their behavioral impact. Take Netflix, for example. Rolling budgets allow them to adjust content spend based on subscriber response. Zero-based budgeting, if applied poorly, can demoralize teams and harm creativity. Another student, Ahmed, ignored limiting factors in production budgets and assumed unlimited resources. His mock budget failed. After incorporating limiting factors and responsibility centers, he improved both marks and understanding. Sales budgets drive production budgets, which determine material usage and labor hours. Seeing this flow in practice beats rote memorization every time. Standard costing and variances is the next critical area. Most students confuse material price versus usage or labor rate versus efficiency. A simple mnemonic, price equals bought, usage equals used. Consider a factory supervisor taking leave, reducing productivity. Suddenly, labor efficiency variance is adverse. Students often miss why variances occur. Here's a mini case. Lily calculated material variance incorrectly because she didn't link usage to actual production. Once she connected theory to real-life context, she never repeated the mistake. Competitor videos explain formulas but ignore examiners' stories hiding variances in practical scenarios. This knowledge alone can earn you marks without memorizing endless calculations. Now, performance measurement. ROI, ROS, RE, non-financial indicators, and balanced scorecards. These can be exam traps if you ignore context. An airline improving passenger satisfaction through non-financial KPIs demonstrates balancing financial and behavioral indicators. Most students focus only on ROI versus ROS numbers, missing the why behind examiner questions. Mini case. Tom overlooked behavioral KPIs in a mock airline case, losing 4 marks. After gamifying learning with practical examples, he scored full marks on similar questions. The key is blending short-term financial metrics with long-term behavioral insight. Let's talk exam strategy, the often overlooked secret. Your exam isn't testing your memory, it's testing your interpretation speed. Read the question stem carefully. Spot trick adjectives like approximate, ignore, or assume. Allocate time wisely between OTQ, objective test questions, and MTQ, multitask questions. Mini case. Fatima lost marks on MTQ because she spent 15 minutes on a single OTQ. After applying strict timing strategies, she finished 90% of the paper with confidence. Avoid common dumb mistakes by practicing shortcuts. Like always checking units for variances or ensuring contribution calculations use actual variable costs, not standard ones. Here's another real student scenario to illustrate integrated learning. Ravi was revising contribution margins and budgeting separately, struggling to link them. We created a combined scenario. A bakery using contribution margins to plan its zero-based budget. He visualized how contribution influences decisions, budgeting allocates resources, and performance measures track outcomes. His mock scores jumped from 55% to 78%. Small integrated practice cases like this create long-term retention and exam confidence. Remember, Sarah, John, Maria, Ahmed, Lily, Tom, Fatima, Ravi. All of them were once struggling, just like you. The difference between failing and topping the F2 charts isn't intelligence, it's approach and strategy. Start practicing with patterns, real-life business applications, and rapid revision techniques. Bookmark mini reels, simulate exam scenarios, and focus on interpretation speed. These small, strategic steps compound into massive improvements. And here's one final tip most competitors ignore. Always analyze mistakes from mocks in context. Don't just redo the problem. Ask, why did the examiner design it this way? What behavioral or business logic were they testing? This analytical mindset is what separates a 50% scorer from a 75-80% scorer consistently. Combine this with Education Bench's syllabus-aligned resources, and you have a complete, foolproof system for F2 success. This isn't just preparation, it's transformation. Understanding cost behavior, mastering classification, perfecting absorption and contribution techniques, budgeting smartly, navigating variances, evaluating performance, and applying exam strategies, all in a humanized, practical, and memorable format. Follow this approach, and F2 will no longer be a hurdle but a milestone you can achieve with confidence and clarity.